This demo, we're going to look at an easy way to insert items into DynamoDB using Java. This one is going to build off of the other demo that we actually looked at, which is using, to be able to get the items using Java from a DynamoDB table. So let's actually look at the table that we have created for this particular demo. We have a table called customers. It has a couple of rows, couple of items. One is John 1, location is US. The other one is Lisa 1 for the ID, and then location is UK. This particular demo table is actually, available in Ohio, which is US East 2 region. So let's actually look at a way to be able to go and then insert items into this particular customers, DynamoDB table. So I'm going to switch over to my IntelliJ IDE here. So this is a sample project that we have looked at in the other demo as well. There is really nothing fancy here, just a plain simple class DynamoDB test. And then I have a POM file. What I've done here is, I've downloaded the Maven artifact for DynamoDB using AWS SDK. And then please note that the version here is 2, it's not 1. Additionally, I've also configured the SLF4J dependencies here. So let's actually jump straight in and then start coding here. So the first thing here is, because I'm using SLF4J, I'm going to just configure the logger. So private static final logger SLF4J logger is equal to logger factory dot get logger DynamoDB test.class. Then I'm going to create a public static void main method. Because this is a simple demo, I'm not really bothering about creating methods and whatnot. We just want to really quickly test this thing and showcase the power of the simple APIs that AWS SDK has. So the first thing that we want to create is what's called as a DynamoDB client. So let's actually create a DynamoDB client. So DynamoDB client is equal to, it uses a builder pattern. So DynamoDB client dot builder dot build. But then obviously we want to give the region specific as well for this one. So let's actually specify the region. So region dot US East 2. And that's about it. I'm not really using any credentials, specific credential profile for this thing. I'm just going to go with the default one, unlike in the other demo that I showed for getting the items. So I'm going to just go with the default one here. So I have the client now, and the way to be able to insert items into the table is using a class called put item request. So let's actually create an object for that one. So put item request. So put item request is equal to, it follows the same thing, put item request builder pattern. So you can see put item request dot builder dot build. So we're going to use that one, and I'm going to now go and then specify the table name for this. Table name is customers, and then I'm also going to insert the actual item itself. So you can see the item, and you can see the value that it takes is a map of string and attribute values. So let's actually use Java utils map, and then we're going to have two attributes here. One is for ID, the other is for the location. So therefore, I'm going to choose the one with 4 arguments there. Key1 v1, k2 v2. So let's actually choose that one. So the first thing is we want to set the ID, and then the ID is coming from attribute value. Oops, sorry, chose the wrong one. Attribute value. Let's actually do attribute value dot from, and we are looking from a string. So where is from as? Yep, right there. So from as, and then we're going to choose the key as, the ID as Mary1, and then for the second attribute we're going to choose the location, and the location is going to be attribute from as again, and then let's say call this as Australia for this one, right? So we set the item. So we got the table name set up, we got the item set up with a couple of columns there, and then we built it. So now that we have built it, let's actually go and then use the client that we have created here, to go and then put this particular item. So let's actually do client dot put item request, and if you see, the response for this one is put item response. Put item response is the response. So I'm going to do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually log this thing to see if the request has been successful. So response is, and let's actually quickly look at what are the ways of gathering the response from this one. So you can see there's a SDK HTTP response. So let's actually look at that one. SDK HTTP response and is successful is the thing that we want to check. So super simple here. Let's actually go and then run this one. So like right click, run DynamoDB test.main. So that's starting it up. And then you can see it actually ran and then the response is true. So let's go back to our AWS console, refresh the customers table. Okay, there you go. And then we have the new item inserted, Mary one with the location as Australia. Um, this is as simple as it can get to be able to put items into the DynamoDB table. Hope you like this particular demo. Thanks a lot for watching the video.